Hello and welcome to this, our latest HFS OneOffice Hot Vendor Fireside videocast. And today we welcome Scott Lee, who's the Chief Revenue Officer for Singularity Systems. I say that advisedly. We'll come back to that in a moment. We've named Singularity AI, which is the platform that Singularity Systems runs. We named Singularity AI an HFS OneOffice stroke OneEcosystem Hot Vendor for its business-friendly delivery of cutting-edge technology to make business masters of IDP. We applaud the focus on adaptability and the generation of insight to inform business decisions and respond quickly to change. At the end of the day, clients seek speed to market, and Singularity is gearing up to deliver it for IDP by going deep on combined artificial intelligence techniques and expanding its tech integrations. But not only did Singularity get named an HFS Hot Vendor in Q2 2022, the team claimed the trophy for Hottest of the Hot in our Shark Tank style shootout at the HFS Super Summit in mid-September. So congratulations on that, Scott. Let's talk about that win. I have to say that as great as you are on stage and as funny as your team's video was, I feel it was the passion of your customer that won over the audience. So tell us a bit about what you think made the difference on that day, because it's wonderful to hear from a customer singing your praises. I appreciate you might not be able to name them in the context of this video cast, but passion was certainly there.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks, David. Thanks for having me, and thank you for the amazing event you guys put together at the Super Summit. We were really blown away by the thought leadership and the topics covered. Obviously, we were pleasantly surprised to win the hottest of the hot. There was a lot of phenomenal hot vendors there competing for the award. And to your point, you're right. We had a great video. We've got a great marketing department. I didn't completely fall off the stage, so that was a plus. But to your point, we thought it was really important to bring a customer up on stage, because so many times, so often, you see vendors get up and talk about how great they are in their technology, and that's great. But what we feel is important is customers want to hear from customers. You know, where have you done this, and give us an example. And so we wanted to have our customer up on stage, and knowing we only had 60 seconds, we just asked them, just tell us, you know, why you're here, why you chose us, and what's gone well. And in 60 seconds, he basically encapsulated the fact that he'd been trying to find the right vendor to solve his unstructured data problem for 10 years and couldn't get past 30%. He tried everyone in the market. And after spending 4 weeks with us, some really, really hard, complex telecom invoices, hundreds of thousands on a monthly basis. We had him in the high 90s of straight through processing within 4 weeks. And that was it. He was done talking, and you could see it on the faces in the room. People were like, that's what we've been looking for. So we were, you know, a little bit of a secret weapon bringing him up on stage, but also not so secret. That's what we do with all of our customers. And that's our biggest focus when we started the company. That was the goal we had in mind, to have that type of impact with our customers.
So that's great stuff. And you mentioned that video, and the video was funny. It's good fun, but it had a bit of a should we call it an Easter egg in it about your future. So do you want to fill us in on that?
Yeah, actually, some pretty big news. We're very excited. We're renaming the company. We were going through a bit of a rebrand, and it actually came from that video, and from the many conversations we have with customers. So by the time you see this, we will be rebranded to AYR, which stands for Are You Ready? And it came, if you watch the end of that video, you know, it really culminated. What we get is the sense in the market where customers across the globe have been waiting. You know, they've been waiting for the next generation of IDP, the next generation of intelligent automation. What comes after RPA? How do we go capture that last 80% of data, which is semi-structured, unstructured? And so we'll be keeping the Singularity AI is our platform. So you'll see Singularity AI like you always have. That's the platform name, but moving forward will be AYR. You can find us at AYR.ai. And we're very excited. You know, and you'll be seeing a bunch of campaigns, but I think it really speaks to where we want to go in the market and where customers are really asking us to go. And so we ask the question, are you ready? Are you ready for the next generation of intelligent automation? Are you ready to stop having 6-7 month POCs and frustration with needing 1,000 documents? Are you ready for the next generation of intelligent document or data processing?
Well, I guess with that, we better ask, are you ready for your next question? Because we better move on. I think hopefully you've given a bit of a steer to our listeners and viewers as to what it is you guys do. But one of the questions I like to ask of any organization is why you chose this particular area to go into. What did you see, or what did the team see that they felt was wrong with the way things were being done that they thought that they could put right?
Yeah, it's a great question. When we set out in late 2018 with Singularity, the goal was really laser focused on being the best IDP company on the planet and integrating with all of the other technologies out there. We saw a gap in the market, and we still see a huge gap in the market, where most enterprise customers have made their RPA decision, they've made their BPM, their workflow decision orchestration to some degree. But what's missing is the ability to handle that semi and unstructured data in an efficient manner, right? We've been trying this for years. A lot of us came from several companies that have been working on this for a long time. What we found was AI, big broad term, very expensive, really hard to take to scale. Need a team of data scientists, which you can't find anymore. They're like finding unicorns, and it crushed the ROI. And what we also found was, if I could be a bit bold, there was a lot of people dressed up as robots. There was a lot of behind the scenes when it came to handling these documents and this data that was semi-structured and unstructured. It just wouldn't get the job done. So we wanted to create a platform that was easy to use, eliminated the need for a huge army of data scientists, and was really focused more on bringing the business and the COEs together. So you're still allowing the centers of excellence and those running intelligent automation to drive the initiative, but also bringing the business in and getting them into the game and allowing them to use the platform and to drive more use cases at scale. And the only way you can do that is by tackling semi and unstructured data. And so that's been our sole mission. We've integrated with everybody, all the big RPA players, all of the workflow orchestrations, all the ERPs, the CRMs. We've integrated pretty much across the board, and we sit right in the middle and solve really what we consider the hardest problem in the automation industry, and that's the semi-structured and unstructured. And the biggest difference, and where we've seen the most positive feedback from our customers in the market, is we do it in weeks. It doesn't take 6 months for a POC. It doesn't take a year of 16 months to go into production. We're conducting POCs in 2 to 5 days, rolling out into productions in 4 weeks of use cases that haven't been really even automatable before. So that's what we've seen as the big market. That's why we came in when we did, and that's what we feel like we're solving.
So what do you think have been the big moments in that journey? Does it remind me, when was Singularity founded?
End of 2018.
Okay, so you've been around a little while, little bit of a journey. Yep. Sure, it's not been a straight line, but what were the pivot moments there, the moments when people were banging their heads against the wall and thinking, we've got to do something different?
Yeah, it actually came about a year ago. If you go back and look at a couple of our press releases, we had several big breakthroughs. We've always had what we feel is the best technology in the industry, but we had several breakthroughs. We came out with this 2 concepts. One was this concept of intelligent data simulator. We call it IDS. And it's this concept of augmented and synthetic data. It's been around for a while in the academia world, and really what we really put it into production out of necessity, because what clients don't have, what they're not providing anymore, or don't have access to, or whether it's PII or other reasons, is thousands of samples. And we see it time and time again, for a POC, we just need 400 samples, 500 samples, in 12 weeks. And people are like, that's just not going to work. And so what we would get from customers is, well, I can give you 2 samples. I can give you one sample and then the rest are redacted. And so what we did was we created IDS, this intelligent data simulator, out of necessity so we could create our own samples. And then taking it one step further, we wanted to be able to augment the samples to make it harder on the AI models, right? So we can actually take a sample, turn it into 100, and then we can blur it, turn it, make it, dirty, flip it upside down, whatever. It actually pushes the models harder, further. And so it trains them that much faster. So that was a big breakthrough for us. And we're one of the only ones in the industry that have this intelligent data simulator, this concept of augmented synthetic data. And it's been a game changer for us. The other one that's even more of a breakthrough is what we call AI Pathfinder. And this is this concept. Most companies, most automation IDP companies will have one or two of the following: an OCR, computer vision, maybe they'll have NLP. There's a lot of NLP companies out there. They'll combine it with some OCR, and then they'll try to incorporate machine learning. What we've done is we've actually combined all of those together, working congruently at the same time. So everything we have is proprietary. We're not OEMing anybody's technology. So our proprietary OCR, natural language processing, computer vision, all coupled with our machine learning, working congruently the same way that the human brain does. And it's been a huge breakthrough in the industry. And what that's allowed us to do, David, is train models that much faster with much higher accuracy. So whereas another IDP company might get into maybe the 60s, maybe the 70s with human in the loop, maybe 80s. We're starting out at the 80, 85, 90% mark, and we're pushing into the high 90s very, very quickly within, several trainings of the model, because we're able to recognize the documents for what they are and get the necessary information that much faster. So AI Pathfinder, again, to my knowledge, we're the only ones in the industry that have this technology, and it's really taken things to the next level. And that's where we're seeing very big names in the industry come to us and say, we didn't think this was possible. Now that we're seeing this in action, and we let customers test it. Sometimes they won't even believe it. We hear the results, they're like, we don't believe it, you're manipulating the data. Great, take it for a spin. And they'll come back a day or two later and say, wow, it's real. So those are probably the two biggest breakthroughs that we've had that kind of help. We saw the corner get turned, if you will.
Gotcha. They are big breakthroughs. I guess one of the challenges, and you tell me what you're seeing in the market, you're speaking to customers every day. It seems that this IDP label, IDP breaking out, it's got out from behind RPA. It's got its own life now. But it's still a very wide and very broad term. It can mean everything from just replacing some rote tasks to virtually end-to-end processing.
Right.
How are you tackling that challenge, or how are you helping your customers find their way through what is a relatively complex field?
It is, and it's an interesting challenge. A challenge for us, to your point, David, it's a crowded space. A lot of new vendors have jumped in. You've got some of the legacy, what I would call traditional OCR players out there that have kind of, put on the IDP hat, right? Then you have all the RPA players. Everybody has what I call Me Too IDP product, right? Everybody has one, whether it's OEM or their own that they built. And then you take all the new players, and it's a crowded space. Like you said, it's starting to emerge, getting its own kind of category, if you will, but it's crowded, and people are kind of trying to, how do I wade through everything? And when you combine that with a little bit of automation fatigue that we've seen in the market from the RPA vendors, have started to commoditize a bit. And I think customers are saying, okay, what's next? We've done the low hanging fruit, but there's all these options. How do we get past that? So I think that's one of the bigger challenges. I think what you all are doing with educating the market on what's out there and what they should be looking for. I think well, now you also have the hyperscalers jumping in, right? As they do, they tend to do, they jump in and, here's our boatload of money and here we go. Let's go tackle the market, right? So that causes even more confusion, right? Because now you have AI teams saying, well, should I use these big guys that are actual infants in the market, but they're obviously behemoths everywhere else. So a lot of confusion in the market. I think that probably the easiest way to overcome that, is from a brand perspective, personally, AYR and Singularity AI, our platform, have to do a better job of getting out into the market through partners, through the partner ecosystem, things like this where we can tell our story. But the biggest thing is, I tell clients is just try it, and that's a hard thing to ask because there is POC fatigue, because the POCs that they're traditionally used to are $50,000. People are charging for them. You need 6 months. They say it's going to be 6 weeks. It turns into 6 months. So that's a challenge. There's a trust issue, I think, in the automation space with customers. And so I think you have to be able to walk up and say, listen, I'll do this in under 2 weeks or I won't do it. I'll make sure there's a business case and we can set this up either on your prim or in the cloud, whichever you choose, and let's go. And we set the success criteria, and if we can't achieve it, we won't waste people's time. So I think you have to have that direct conversation, and customers have to be willing to have that conversation. I think they're out there. I think they are willing to, but you have to bring something real to the table.
Got you. Okay, well, we're looking now at what's coming next for you guys. What are your plans for, so the next 12, 18 months is all going to be about rebranding and establishing that brand and establishing some new markets, I imagine. Talk us through that and where you think you're going to be ending up, say around 2025. Don't want to ask you to think too far out, but yeah, what kind of company are you going to be at that point?
Well, it's easy. We'll within a year, we feel confident we'll be the top IDP company on the planet. So it's a big, bold statement, but we feel very confident that we can make that happen. We're very bullish on the channel. We're working with most of the GSIs and consulting partners out there. I came from the channel. I'm a big fan. I think it's a force multiplier. And I think they've seen all the technology out there. They know what's real, what's not. And I think they can very quickly see through, okay, there's something different here. So that'll be a big push for us, as well as working from a technology partnership. So multiple discussions and things you'll probably hear more about in the future around OEMs and technology partnerships that make a lot of sense, where we can essentially get our best of breed technology, the best IDP on the planet, into the hands of many more customers by going through different technology partnerships. And then you'll see us expand dramatically on a global scale. So right now, our big focus is APAC and North America. You'll see us grow into EMEA quite rapidly. So I think in the next 2 to 3 years, you're going to see a company emerge as a global leader in IDP and intelligent automation. And you'll be seeing some exciting announcements.
You heard it here first, folks. So don't forget. I suppose one last question for you, Scott. I'm just thinking, is there one final message you would like to leave with an enterprise buyer or somebody might be able to pull on the sleeves of an enterprise buyer? What should they know about what AYR does?
Yeah, I mean, well, and it really comes down to why we made the name change to AYR, right? And it's asking them the question, are you ready? Right? A new generation of intelligent automation is here, and are you ready to take that journey? Right? Are you ready to move faster, to put your customers and your employees in a position to focus on things that are more important than the tedious automation tasks that are out there that you really just can't get to because that data is unreachable, right? It's not digitized. So our biggest message is we're taking human readable data in whatever format it's in and making it machine readable and usable, so you can get back to doing the things that are really important and strategic for your customers and for your employees. So and the biggest takeaway I would say is just try it, right? Engage us for a 2-week or less POC, and let us prove to you that it doesn't have to be the same old automation journey that we've been on with AI. AI is not just some buzz term that you have grown accustomed to kind of pushing to the wayside, because it's the future. It's here. Hence AYR, are you ready? We're very excited about what's coming in the next 12 to 18 months. And for the enterprise buyer, it's very easy to try it and see how you can incorporate it into your automation strategy to go to the next level.
Hey Scott, it's been really good to connect with you again. I hope everyone's enjoyed listening to you as much as I have, and wishing you the best of luck. I hope we can carry on our conversations, and we look forward to seeing you guys grow.
Excellent. Thank you, David. As always, enjoyed the conversation. Looking forward to the next one.